Hey guys, happy Easter. I hope everyone had a great day. It was actually kind of nice having a little bit more of a low-key Sunday Easter morning. Didn't have to worry about getting kids ready and rushing to church. We were able to do Easter baskets and our Easter egg hunt and then just go inside and sit on the couch and live stream the Easter service from our church, and it was really nice. Kids were really excited. They really enjoyed all of the candy that they got and the chocolate that they ate for breakfast. Um, and then we had a family come out and take a look at some of our baby goats and put deposits on some of the baby goats. So that was a bit bittersweet because I am absolutely in love with this year's batch of babies. I really have to give the credit to my kids because my kids have been in the goat pen every single day. And they're finally at the ages where they can just sit in there quietly and let the goats come to them. They're not trying to chase the baby goats around the pen and making them nervous. And so the babies are just so sweet and lovable, and they want to climb in your lap and they want to nibble on you. And I am going to hate to see every single one of them go. But I was really glad that 3 of the babies are going to go to this family that is new to homesteading. They bought 5 acres, I think they said a year and a half ago, and they got started with, I think with just chickens, and then they went and got 4 goats today, and then they're going to get these 3 babies next month when they are weaned, and so they're going to start the adventure of expanding into dairy goats. So I'm excited for them. And I think it's going to be a good match for the babies, even though, like I said, I'll really hate to see them go. My favorites have not been sold yet, but my daughter's favorite got sold today. So I hope she doesn't get too upset when they actually go to their new home. Anyway, okay, so if you guys watched yesterday's video, you know that I had a complete brain fart and I forgot one of the big tips that I was going to talk about with seed starting. And it probably worked out for the best because the video was running a little long at that point anyway, and I really needed to wrap it up and leave the rest of it for today. So today, and especially because I am actually in the middle of making dinner, and I have a 9-year-old who's apparently forgotten how to feed himself. So I've got a timer going and stuff is in the oven, and so I have to go back in and pull that out of the oven when it's ready. Anyway, so very quickly, what I want to talk about today is leggy seedlings. I see this is a very, very common problem that a lot of beginners start off with, especially if you are starting seeds inside, but do not think that this is only a problem with starting seeds inside, because I've even had this problem starting seeds outside. All right. Now, some things you need to keep in mind. The legginess. Okay. First off, the entire problem with leggy seedlings, the reason you have leggy seedlings is the seedlings are not getting enough light. Period. That's it. Okay. So, you either need to provide them with a grow light. If they have a grow light, it is possible the grow light is not close enough to them. The grow light really needs to be just above the seedlings, and you're going to continue to raise it as those seedlings grow. The other thing, and this is actually, I got to give my friend Danielle the credit for this tip because she discovered this one for me the hard way. You want to make sure that your grow lights, either you have enough grow lights for the seedlings that you're trying to grow, or that there's a reflector on your grow light so that it is covering a wider area so that all of your plants are getting light. What's going to happen is if you don't have that reflector so that that light is evenly dispersed over the seedlings, you're going to have seedlings directly under that are going to grow nice and straight and probably stay compact. But then those seedlings on the sides that aren't directly under the light are going to stretch, and that is when they're going to get leggy and they're going to reach for that light. All right. So some ways around that is you can either get different grow lights, you can get additional grow lights, Or you can rotate your trays or rotate your seedlings within the tray. So you just need to keep an eye on that and make sure that none of your seedlings are starting to lean. If you don't have grow lights and you're just growing in a bright window, you'll see this a lot where they're going to start leaning towards the window. What I usually do if I'm using a window for growing seedlings is I need to rotate that tray every day so they're getting even light. But you're still going to have, like I had a problem with this with my microgreens inside, is they're going to end up getting leggy because they're going to be reaching for that light. So I have to get grow lights for growing my microgreens. If you're growing outside, like I start all of my seedlings outside, however, I'm starting them underneath trees, so they are getting a lot of shade. So I have to keep an eye on them and make sure that they're not getting too much shade. The shade is good for the seedlings because it's going to help prevent them from getting burned. I don't want them under really intense sunlight, but I have to make sure that they're getting enough light that they're growing straight up. All right, what if your seedlings are already leggy? Are they a lost cause? You need to start your seeds over? Not necessarily. You need to know your plants. In my opinion, there is no such thing as a leggy tomato. There is no such thing as a leggy vining squash, because they will put down additional roots along their stems. So if a tomato gets too leggy, all I need to do is bury it deeper. If a vining squash is getting too leggy, again, I can just bury it deeper. Or I also keep in mind, it is a vining plant. It is naturally going to have a long stem on it because that's how it grows. It's going to grow along the ground. Okra, like I've gotten accused of my okra being leggy. No, okra is just a really tall plant. Okay, so it is going to shoot up and it's going to be tall. That's just the nature of the plant. So keep those types of things in mind. But you will need to do a little bit of research on whether or not you can bury that stem on your plant, because there are some things that do not like that stem being buried deep and it can cause rot issues. So you do not want to do that. The best thing you can do, again, is making sure you have ample light directly over your seedlings. And there goes my timer for my dinner. Make sure you have ample light directly over your seedlings so that they stay nice and compact and so they don't have to reach for that light. As long as they don't have to reach, they will grow at the rate that they need to grow to stay compact and be a healthy plant. If you let them get too far, as far as getting too leggy and too tall, that stem just gets too thin and it takes too much energy and they just cannot sustain themselves. If they're just a little bit leggy, I say go ahead and keep going with them. Get them out in the ground as soon as, after your last frost date. And a lot of times, like I've had issues with leggy broccoli and cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, things like that. That stem will thicken up once you get it in the ground and they'll end up being just fine, okay? Don't think that you necessarily need to start them over just because they're getting a little bit taller than you like. But again, try to prevent it as much as possible. Okay, if you guys have got any questions for me, or if there's any additional topics you would like to see me cover, please leave that comment down below. I am putting these videos, I'm publishing them on my Facebook page where I'm currently live, but I'm also publishing these videos on my YouTube channel if you want to check them out there. And I think that is it for tonight. So I will catch you guys tomorrow, and I'll hope you guys have a happy Easter. Bye.